We've got this 2012 CVO Street Glide on the lift today. 110, getting a cam job. I'm a little bit late. Ronnie has already got started on it. We've got cams are out of it right now. It's got the CVO 255s. We're in it. This customer is going with, I believe it was Redshift 587. S&S cam plate, oil pump, S&S tensioners, cam bearings, which Ronnie's ready for. I'll go ahead and get those handed over to him.
All right, thank you, sir.
So Ronnie's running these new cam bearings in right now. Twin cam inner cam bearing install tool. Got it set up to where we can install both inner cam bearings. It presses them in. We'll show you a little bit how it works after he gets done running them down. Alright, so here's the Jim's tool. Basically, if we got an old bearing somewhere, and let's show them the difference from the upgraded inner cam bearing to these. Whereas there's a space between every bearing, every roller and needle in here, whereas the new one is a full needle bearing. There's no spaces in it. It's just a lot better, a lot stronger bearing. But on here, this bearing's going to slide right up here, and there's another lip right here that's going to set the depth on that. So when that presses up against the case, it seats that bearing as far as it needs to go in the case. Ronnie has got our cams put into the S&S cam plate now. Got our timing marks lined up. We see that come in a lot. I say a lot. It's happened several times. A bike come in not running good or hit the dyno and not make the power it's supposed to make. Someone else had put in cams. You start tracing things down and the timing marks are not lined up across here. On video, it may not even look exactly right, but you can take a straight edge, go across here and make sure your timing marks are lined up.
Got her lubed up good. We just slid the cams in, and this shim here, make sure that when you take it off, make sure you put it over here, and I believe that was 100 thousandths, and it's always 100 thousandths. There you go. That wavy step ring kind of works as a little shop. And then there we are. Ready to put that jewel in.
Ronnie's already got the oil pump put in, S&S oil pump. Looks like he's getting ready to put this tensioner on. That is a beefy tensioner compared to factory. Here's the S&S piece compared to the factory tensioner. Alright, so Ronnie's got everything lubed up good, ready to go together. Got our new inner cam bearings in, new oil pump in, got our O-rings in. Look, they even numbered it so people like me and Ronnie would be able to install this.
That's right.
I'm proud of you, you know that. I hope you do.
There we go. We'll spin her again, make sure we don't have any binding. We only ever had one that bound up.
Looks like we've got oil pressure already.
Yes, putting oil out already. Good oil pump.
But you've got this spacer, which is always going to be your 100 thousandth spacer. And you always want the 100 thousandths on this. That's just the spacing that's going to be set. And here in a second, we're going to show you about our cam spacer on the gear side of it, where there's several different sizes and there's a way to measure that to know what you need and what range you need to be able to fall within. So we'll be showing you that too. Pay attention to that. You want to check this without the chain on it. When you put this together, you don't want the chain on. You just want to put your sprockets on and run the bolts down. You don't have to torque them all the way to spec. Just if you can tighten them down, get them to hold everything good and tight so we can check this out.
Gears on. We want to check these two, make sure they're in alignment within 10 thousandths. And the way you do it, just put your straight edge on the sprockets and see. That's got quite a bit.
Yep.
My magnet. That's a 130. You just barely can read it there.
Yeah.
Let's see if we got a 140. Right. It's got just a little clearance, just a little. You take a feeler gauge and put in here and check and see if you're within 10,000. That's plus or minus. Still got
Just enough you can see it on the camera.
Yep. That should be good. After you do a few of them, you can tell without a feeler gauge if you're within specs or not.
Ronnie's got those calibrated eyes.
Yeah. Eagle eye and the bird brain. Gotta make sure our timing marks are lined up. Be ashamed if the last thing we do and not check the timing mark.
And that took care of everything in the cam chest, though. I know you're probably like me, you're probably going to want to leave that cam cover off until you get your push rods adjusted, I imagine.
Yep.
But just makes it a little bit easier with the timing marks. But next thing, we're going to get the lifters bled, get the lifters put in, and get the push rods adjusted, and this will be another step closer to getting fired up. All right, so we're going to put a vacuum bleeder a hold of this and watch all the air bubbles come out of these lifters.
Want to ease these lifters down in there. You don't want to drop them. Just ease them down there on the cam. Here's a stock Harley, original lifter. You see the hole is lined up with the wheel. When you look at your aftermarkets, you'll see that the hole is not lined up like the stock
Lined
Harley.
up with the pin in the roller.
Lined up with the pin instead of the wheel, the roller. Well, once the oil comes in here around this lifter, it goes all the way around this cutout area and then goes right up in that hole. And it doesn't matter which way you turn it. But on these, I turn all the holes towards the inside.
Ronnie's got the lifter covers back on and going and putting the push rods in and getting the adjustment set on them.
Okay, got the slack out of it. Just as soon as it contacts, you want to stop. And that's where you want to start your adjustment.
And we start on the rear cylinder with the timing marks lined up. That's number 1 cylinder, top dead center, ready to adjust the push rods on it.
Yep, adjust both of them while you're there. Make me a little mark there so I can have a little reference when I count my turns. And I'm going to do 24 flats or 4 turns. So we've got both of them adjusted on the rear cylinder.
And then for when we do the front cylinder, we're just going to roll it around till it's top dead center on the front, and our timing mark will be opposite around from where it's at right now.
Our timing mark is almost up here to the top. You can see our other one. There's a little line on the cam plate that shows exact. What I do is I stick my fingers
Into the lifter bore.
Into the lifter bore, and I put my fingers on, make sure they don't move. And as you can see, I can turn it that much, and my lifters aren't even moving. Neither one of them. So you know that's on the bottom of the cam. So we got our S&S quickies push rods ready. And we're going to do our intake first, because that's the easiest way to do it. Take a little rubber band and paper clip. Hold that push rod tube up and start screwing the extension out on the push rod itself.
So that's basically got us an idea of everything that's going to go on. We could repeat the process, go over watching him do the next push rod, but it's just all the same between intake and exhaust. It's going to be the same adjustment on it. So we're going to fast forward a little bit here and see what's next. Well, Ronnie, you did it.
We did.
All right, so David's got this bike on the Dyno now, Street Glide with the Redshift 587 cams. We're gonna go in here and see just how far along he's got with it and what it's doing so far. Looks like we ended up with 104 horse, 125 foot-pound.